Welcome students, welcome you all in my civics class. So this is the next video, second video of class 9 civics. What is democracy? Why democracy? So let's start. Today we'll start with this topic, why democracy? Okay, so here we'll go for the topics like argument against democracy and argument for democracy. Okay, that is merits and demerits of democracy. Okay, let's see. Arguments against democracy. So here we'll see, children, that first of all, what is the demerit of democracy? As we know that democracy is a very good form of government where citizens are getting all the rights and liberties from the government. But here there are some demerits. Okay, let's see what. Now, leaders keep changing in a democracy. Okay, this leads to instability. Okay, that means here we are not getting a stable government. Why? Because in democracy, people or the citizen have the freedom to choose their leaders. So if they are not satisfied with the present government or the leader, they will change the government next year, means after 5 years, right? They will choose some other leader. So in this way, leaders, if they will keep changing in democracy, it will lead to instability. Okay, there will be no stable government. So this is the first demerit of democracy. Okay, now next is democracy is all about political competition and power play, and there is no scope for morality. Okay, that means it is all about bad politics, the tricks, bad politics. Those political competition is there among different political parties. Okay, so in democracy we'll see the leaders to win the election, they will use different type of malpractices and bad politics and different tricks to win the election. So we can say that democracy is all about political competition and power play. Okay, now third one. Yes, so many people have to be consulted in a democracy that it leads to delay. That means delay work, okay, for making policies, because here you'll see if so many people they have to be consulted in democracy, then it will definitely lead to delay. That means it delay is bound to take place here. Okay, because for consulting, okay, to take a decision, consultation is required, right? So in democracy, if all the people they have to be consulted, definitely it will lead to delay. Okay, so this is the third demerit. Next is elected leaders, they do not know the best interest of the people. So it leads to bad decisions. Means elected leaders they actually don't know that what is the best interest of the people, means what the people want actually. So so it will lead to bad decisions, okay, by that elected leader. This is the next demerit. Next, democracy leads to corruption, for it is based on electoral competition. Okay, corruption is going to exist or prevail. As we know, it is a reality which we can't ignore, right? So corruption is definitely there. Next is ordinary people, they don't know what is good for them. They should not decide anything. And like a topic discussion was there, then the people, they actually don't know that what is good for them. They are not able to decide that. And for that reason, the country is going to suffer. So ordinary people, they don't know what they wanted. Okay, what is good for them. So they can't take any proper decision for the country, which is actually a demerit for democracy. So this is the next demerit. or disadvantage we can say of democracy. Okay, so we have understood what were the arguments against democracy, right children? Next is argument for democracy, that means merits. Okay, so here let's see. China's famine of 1958 to 61 was the worst recorded famine in world history. Okay, in this year 1958 to 1961 famine took place in China, which is the worst record famine in world history. Nearly 3 crore people died in this famine. And during those days, India's economic condition was not much better than China. Yet India did not have a famine of like China had. Now why this thing? Because here economists think that this was a result of different governments' policies in the two countries. Okay, different government policies were there, like in India and in China. And India's economic condition was not so good than China, but still famine did not took place in India, but it took place in China. Why? Because here see, the existence of democracy in India made the Indian government respond to food scarcity in a way that the Chinese government did not, because in China, you know, democracy is not there, and that is the reason why. But in India we have democracy, so our Indian government can respond to food scarcity, right? But Chinese government could not. They point out that no large scale famine has ever been taken place in an independent and democratic country. But if China too had multi-party election, an opposition party and a press free to criticize the government, then so many people may not have died in the famine. Because if media is, you know, free, means independent, not under the domination of that Chinese government, then what would happen? That press or the media, it can highlight that matter, right? That famine took place in our country and people were dying of starvation, of hunger, thirst. So government must have to take some steps, right? Otherwise its image will be affected. But in China, media was not free at all, and also Chinese government was totally dominating. So in this way, what happened? This incident took place, famine took place. So this example brings out one of the reasons why democracy is considered to be the best form of government. Democracy is better than any other form of government in responding to the needs of the people. Okay, so we can say here that a non-democratic government may and can respond to the people needs, but it all depends on the wishes of the people. If the rulers don't want to, they don't have to act according to the wishes of the people. So here we are getting this feature of democracy, we can say, or merit of democracy, that a democratic government is a better government because it is a more accountable form of government. Okay, it is a responsible form of government. It must respond to the people's needs and expectation. Okay, so this is the first merit or advantages of democracy or democratic government. Next, there is another reason why democracy should lead to better decision. Okay, why better decisions we are getting in democracy than any other non-democratic government? Democracy is based on consultation and discussion, right? Consult and discuss. So a democratic decision always involves many person, discussions and meetings. So when a number of people, they put their head together and they are able to point out the mistakes in any decision, because consultation is going on and after that decision has been taken in democracy. So for that reason, when the a huge number of people, they are able to point out the mistakes. When they are consulting with each other, they can point out the mistake, what is the mistake over there in that decision. So in this way, what will happen, it will take time. Time is bound, delay is bound to take place, but advantage is there that quality decisions we are getting from democracy, right? So democracy improves the quality of decision making. This is the next merit we are getting from democracy. Okay, next is democracy enhances the dignity of citizens. Means it enhances the dignity, okay, respect of citizens. Now, before that, it's democracy provide a method to deal with differences and conflict. Okay, how? Let's see that in any society, people are bound to have differences, opinion and interest. Okay, that is quite natural that diversity is there. And now these differences are sharp in a country like ours, means India, where social diversity is there. And people belonging to different regions speak different languages, practice different religions and also different castes. And they look at the world very differently. But you know, the preferences of one group can clash with those of other group. But the conflict can be solved by brutal power. Whichever group is more powerful will dictate its term. And the other, means the minorities, will have to accept it, but that would lead to resentment and unhappiness. Different groups may not be able to live together for a long time, and democracy provides the only peaceful solution to this problem. In democracy, no one is permanent winner and no one is a permanent loser. As we know, in democracy it actually provide a fair chance to all of them. Okay, nobody can be a permanent winner and nobody can be a permanent loser here, and different groups can live with one another, okay, with each other peacefully without any conflict. And in a diverse country like India, democracy keeps our country together. Okay, here we are getting so many provisions, so many liberties and freedom, so that people, you know, of different caste, religion, they will not fight with each other. No conflict will be there. All of them will be accommodated and they should live together peacefully. Okay, our government, Indian government, is providing such benefits, facilities, liberty or freedom to the citizens. Okay. Now, so this thing is clear that democracy provides a method to deal with differences and conflict. Okay. Next, finally, we are getting here democracy enhances the dignity of the citizens, right? Yeah. Now, these three arguments were about the effect of democracy on the quality of government and social life. But the strongest argument for democracy is not about what democracy does to the government. It is about what democracy does to the citizens. Even if democracy does not bring about better decision and accountable government, it is still better than the other forms of government. As we know, it is a better form of government than any other form of government, like monarchical form of government, like dictatorship or military rule, right? Democracy is the most or far better form of government than all the other forms of government. So it increases or enhances the dignity of citizens. It is based on the principle of political equality. Okay, all are getting here political equality and liberties and freedoms. And even here, poorer and the least educated, that they also has the same status as the rich and the educated. People are not subjects of a ruler, they are the rulers themselves. In democracy, people are the rulers, right? So when they make mistakes, they are responsible for their own conduct only. Okay, finally we can say democracy is better than other forms of government because it allows us to correct our own mistake. Okay, and there is no guarantee that mistakes cannot be made in democracy. Okay, mistakes might be there, so no form of government can guarantee that. And the advantage in democracy is that mistakes cannot be hidden for a long time. There is a space for public discussion to solve this mistake. Public discussions should be held where how to solve these mistakes can take place, and there is also a room for correction. Okay, so either the rulers have to change their decision here, or the ruler can be changed, right? So this is a opportunity which we are getting in only democracy, not in other form of government. So it offers a better chances of a good decision. It is likely to respect people's own wishes and allows different kind of people to live together. Okay, so this is another merit which we are getting from democratic government, right? Okay, so this thing is clear, children. Different merits of democracy we have got. Okay, it is better than other forms of government because it allows us to correct our mistakes. It improves the quality of decision making. Okay, a better quality of decisions we are getting here, and it increases the dignity of the citizens or the respect of citizen. And it is a better form of government because it is more accountable form of government. It is more responsible than any other form of government. It also provide a method to deal with the differences and conflict, okay, so that no conflict will arise in the country. So these are all the merits or advantages or arguments for democracy. Now let's come to the last portion, that is broader meaning of democracy. Here we'll go for representative democracy. Okay, now what is that? Now in a country we call democracy like all the people, they do not rule. Okay, in the country we call democracy but all the people do not rule. What is that? That is, a majority is allowed to take the decisions on the behalf of all the people. Majority must be there who will take all the decisions, right, on the behalf of all the people of us. Okay, now even the majority, it does not rule directly. Directly the majority could not rule. So what is required? The majority of the people can only rule through their elected representatives, right? Representative is required to rule on the behalf of the people. Now this become necessary. Why this representative government is required? Because in modern democracy, it involves such a large number of people that it is physically impossible for them to sit together and take collective decisions. It is not possible in modern democracy that all the people, they should sit together. They will consult with each other and then they will take a collective decision. It is not at all possible in modern democracy. As we know, a huge population is there, right? Next, even if suppose this is possible in particular places, the citizen does not have the time, the desire, okay, the expectations or the wishes, we can say, or the skill or the talent to take part in all the decision, okay, decision making government, right? So if the citizens, suppose if they are sitting together also, they does not have the time, means all the citizens, they does not have the time or the desire, they does not have such wishes, okay, or interest to take part in government's decision. Excuse me. Or they do not have the skill or the talent to take part in all the decision. Okay, so what does we need? We need a representative democracy or representative government, right? But as we know, children, that democracy is a good form of government, no doubt. It has some limitations, or we can say some demerits, but still we'll say that democracy is a better form of government. But we also know that no country is a perfect democracy. No country is a perfect democracy. The features of democracy that we discussed in this chapter, it provide only the minimum condition, right, of a democracy. and it does not make it an ideal democracy. That is not at all possible. Every democracy has to try to realize the ideals of democratic decision making. But this cannot be achieved once and for all. This requires a constant effort to save and strengthen the democratic form of decision making, right? So we know that the strength and the weakness of democracy, as we have discussed, okay, but yet we'll say that democracy is a better form of government because it is more accountable form of government than any other forms of government. So we are actually choosing democracy, but it has limitations. It is not at all we can say that it is not an ideal one. Okay, it has limitations, it has demerits, and the fate of the country depends not just on what the rulers do, but it mainly depends on what the citizens or we as a citizens do, isn't it? So this is what it distinguishes democracy from other form of government. Other form of government like monarchy, dictatorship or one party rule, it do not require all the citizens to take part in politics. In fact, most non-democratic government would like citizens not to take part in politics. But democracy is one such form of government where political participation was done by all the citizens. Okay, we all the people, all the citizens, they are participating in our democratic government. And that is why the study of democracy must focus on democratic politics. So we can say that democracy is a better form of government, but not an ideal one. And no country is a perfect democracy. Okay, some foundations are there, limitations are there, isn't it? But if the choice is there, definitely we'll go for democratic government, and democracy will say it is a best and better form of government than any other form of government, right children? I hope children this topic is clear to you, and here we come to an end of this chapter. So thank you for watching this chapter. Thank you all children. Study well.